Dear students, see, last time we started lesson number 5. First we talked about inertia. We talked about Galileo's law of inertia. We saw Newton's first law of motion that defines the force. We saw effect of the force on the body. See, it can bring the body at rest into motion. Second, it can bring body in motion to rest. Third, it can change the direction of the motion. Fourth, it can change the shape of the body. Then we talked about momentum. See, that is a product of mass and velocity of the body is called momentum. We also saw that we want to describe the motion, how momentum is more important than the velocity alone. Then we saw Newton's second law of motion. Okay, that is a time rate of change of momentum of a body is equal to resultant force acting on a body, and the change is in the direction of the resultant force. Now we saw about we defined one Newton force. Okay, now see our equation F is equal to ma. Okay, now what is 1 Newton force? Suppose mass of the body is 1 kg and the acceleration is 1 meter per second square, then the force is 1 meter. Okay, so 1 Newton force is that force which can produce acceleration of 1 meter per second square in body of mass 1 kg. Okay, so 1 Newton force is that force which can produce acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a body of mass 1 kg. Now we know the force is a vector quantity. Okay, so it can have components. So we can write F is equal to, let us say, Fxi plus Fyz and Fzk. Now we also saw that F is equal to dP by dt. So we can say Fx. So we have to keep in mind this F is equal to ma also while writing the equation of the force. Now also F is equal to dP by dt. Okay, so Fx is dpx by dt m into ax. Okay, ax is the x component of acceleration, then Fy is dpy by dt, may, Fz is dpz. Okay, so this is about the component of the force. Also, if more than one force acts on a body, we have to find out the resultant force. Okay, if more than more than one force acts on a body, we have to find out the resultant force. That will give the totality effect of the more than one force. So this is all about Newton's second law of motion. Now we proceed further. Now next we have to see about impulse of the force. Now we have seen F is equal to dP by dt. See, right now I talk only the magnitude part only. Okay, so F is equal to dP by dt. dt is F into dt. So this product of force and time for which the force is applied is called impulse of force. Product of force and time for which there is a time interval for which force see the product of force and time interval for which force is applied is called such a force is called impulsive force. Okay, so now see, the impulse of force is a new quantity for us. So we should see about the momentum. See, we should know about its unit and dimension. Now see, the impulse denoted as I is F into delta t. So force is Newton, time is in seconds, so Newton second. Okay, also we can say F into dt is dp also, that is momentum. So momentum will have the one unit we have seen, P is equal to mv. and then P is F into delta T. So another unit of the momentum will be Newton second. Now the dimension, Newton dimension is m1 L1 T minus 2, time is T1. So we can see this m1 L1 T minus 1 is a dimension of momentum also. Okay, so we can see impulse of force and momentum have the same unit and dimension. Okay, now see, this is about impulse of force. Now next we have to see the Newton's third law of motion. See, the first law we have seen that defines the force. Second law say gives the magnitude of the force, and the third law. See the statement. See, action and reaction are force of equal magnitude but act in opposite direction. Okay, see, the action and reaction are force of equal magnitude but act in opposite direction. Consider interaction of two body A and B. Okay, now let us say FAB is a force applied by A on B, then FBA will be force applied by B on A. So we can define FAB is a force applied by A on B. FBA is a force applied by. Okay, see, by third law, FBA, see, the negative sign shows it is in mutually opposite direction. But see, if I talk of the magnitude, it will be equal. Okay, so see, the magnitude of these two forces FAB and FBA will be equal. See, this will be of equal magnitude and in opposite direction. Now see, we have many examples. Okay, see, the third law is a spontaneous. Okay, third law is the most widely used and it is spontaneous. See, suppose a wall છે આપણે આમ માર્યું કે બોર્ડ છે આપણે આમ માર્યું, એ વિચારશે નહીં કે સામે જતીન સર ઊભા છે તો નહીં મારું. But see, there will be instantaneous or spontaneous reaction. Okay, so whatever amount of force is applied by A on B, see, the same force of same magnitude will be applied, but that will be in opposite direction. So the third law says that action and reactions are force of equal magnitude but act in a opposite direction. See, the third law says forces are always in pair. Okay, the third law says forces are always in pair and isolated force do not exist. Okay, isolated force do not exist. Let us see how. The third law says the forces are always in pair. Now we take a simple example. Let us say a table is there. Okay, a block is lying. Okay, now we should know about the gravitation force also. See, the weight of the body W is mg. Okay, see, we have to remember. See, the gravitational force acting on body is called its weight. See, remember, W is equal to mg. That will be used in number of times in the subsequent lesson. Now see here, this block is stationary. Okay, now see, a block is placed on a table, block is stationary. Now see, mg, that is the weight, is the only force that is unbalanced the force. And Newton's first law says whenever there is an unbalanced force, motion is going to be there. Why? Because we have seen that unbalanced force can change the state. If the body at rest, it can bring into motion, but the block doesn't move. The block is stationary. Then there should be a force in opposite direction which will balance empty. See, that force we call as normal force. Okay, that force we call as a normal force. See, here we have to keep in mind W is weight is mg, okay, and N is called the normal force. So here by third law there are two forces. One is mg, that is acting in downward direction, and the normal force. See, because the block is stationary, these two forces will balance each other, or resultant of these two forces will be 0. So in that case, see, this mg is balanced by N. Okay. Now we can say that these are the two forces of equal magnitude in opposite direction, but we can say they are acting in opposite direction. Okay. These are acting in opposite direction and on different objects. So this is about the Newton's third law of motion. So that is during the interaction between two bodies, let us say A and B, FAB is a force applied by A on B. See, FBA will be the force applied by B on A. Okay. So by third law, FBA will be equal to minus AB, FAB. See, their magnitude will be equal. So this is about the Newton's third law of motion. Okay. It says action and reaction are force of equal magnitude but act in opposite direction. Okay. So what is the outcome of the third law? See, the forces are always in pair. Okay. Now this is about the Newton's third law of motion. Now next we have to see the law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay. Now we talked about momentum. See, the product of mass into velocity. Okay. Now see, the law of conservation of linear momentum is a universal and fundamental law of physics. See, the number of questions or problems of physics can be solved by using law of conservation of linear momentum. So see, this can be asked in a 2 marks question. Okay. Write and explain law of conservation of yes, see, there are different statements, but we write like this. See, the total linear momentum of an isolated system okay. Total linear momentum of an isolated system remains constant. Okay. Now, or there are other form also. But see, for our exam point of view, we'll be using this only. See, another statement is that if resultant external force acting on a system is 0, then total linear momentum okay. Now that again we'll see in the system of particles also. Okay. But this is also a statement that I would like to share with you. Okay. So it says that if the resultant external force acting on a system is 0, then the total linear momentum remains constant. But right now we focus on this. Okay. That is the total linear momentum of an isolated system remains constant. Now what is an isolated system? See, unless we want, there will be no change in force, or see, the change in the system will be at our discussion only. Okay, otherwise it will not be disturbed. So that is, say, the total linear momentum of an isolated system remain constant. Now see, there are a number of examples. Okay, now let us say we take an example of a see a rifle and a bullet. Okay, now see initially the system okay. Now system is made of bullet and rifle. See, when bullet is not fired from the rifle, system is at rest. Okay, so that's why initial momentum. Okay, now when the bullet is fired like this, okay, so what is the force acting? Okay, F is equal to delta P by delta T. So what is change in momentum? Okay, that is delta PB. Okay, F delta PB is F into delta T. See, here we'll be taking help of the third one also. Now see the reaction, that is called the recoil of the rifle. Okay, now initial momentum is 0. Now the bullet is fired, so the change in momentum of bullet is delta PB. P stands B for bullet, that is F into delta T. Now see here, F delta T, okay, that will be equal to delta PR. Okay, F delta PR. Now see delta PB plus delta PR. Initially the system was at rest. Initial momentum is 0. See the final momentum should be 0. In that case, see the delta PB and delta PR should be equal in magnitude in opposite direction. So we can write delta PB plus 0. Okay. So in that case, delta PR will be F delta P. Okay, that will be minus F into delta T. Okay, that will be minus F into delta T. So this is about the law of conservation of linear momentum. See, as I told, the law of conservation of linear momentum is a universal and fundamental law. See, the number of questions or problems of physics can be solved by using this. But suppose we have to prove the law of conservation of linear momentum, okay, in terms of the two interacting body, okay, in terms of the two interacting body, let us say A and B, okay, let us say VA is greater than VB, okay, VA is greater than VB. Now see here PA and PB, their mass is MA and B. See, the velocity is VA and VB. Okay, now we assume that. Okay, now whenever there will be interaction, why? Because we assume that they move in the same direction. Okay, now see what is the force applied by A on B. FAB is a force applied. Okay, that is delta PA. Okay, that is P dash A minus PA. Okay, we know that we have used the equation F is equal to okay, that is the FAB. Now due to this interaction, see the FBA will be force applied by B on A. See, that will be equal to change in momentum. Okay. Now before collision, see, we can write before collision P and PB. After collision okay. Now see FAB we have seen taken as a change in momentum of A upon delta T. FBA will be P dash B minus PB. Okay. Now, by Newton's third law, FBA minus FAB. Now, P dash B minus PB upon delta T minus equal to what is FAB? Okay. This will get cancelled. Okay. Now this we can write P dash A plus P dash B is the final momentum. Now see here PB plus PA, that is the initial momentum of the system, that is before collision. P dash A plus P dash B is the final momentum, that is the momentum of the system after collision. So this we can write as a final momentum of system. This we can write okay. So this is how we can say the momentum of the system after interaction, that is final momentum, is equal to initial momentum, that is a before interaction. So this is how we can prove law of conservation of linear momentum also. Now this is an important question, can be asked in exam for 2 marks. Now there are number of examples of law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, now see in the lesson number 1 we studied natural forces. Okay, then we studied about weak force. Okay, now see the weak force, we studied that along with the beta particle, see a particle called neutrino is also emitted. Okay, now initially when scientists were studying law of emission of beta particle, law of conservation of linear momentum was not to be satisfied during their calculation. But see, the law of conservation of linear momentum is a universal and fundamental law of nature. Each and every process taking place in the universe, it is to be followed. So during that the calculation, that see the particle called neutrino is emitted, that was as a consequence of law of conservation of linear momentum. That is how, see, the law of conservation of linear momentum is a universal and fundamental law. So this is what we have to know about law of conservation of see the linear momentum. Okay, now next we have to see about equilibrium of forces. Okay, now before that we should know about concurrent forces. Okay, what is concurrent forces? See, the forces whose line of action passes to the same point are called concurrent forces. Forces whose line of action passes same point are called. Okay, now let us say one force F1. Now this is called line of action of the force, that you have to keep in mind. Okay, now see, this is F1, F2. See, this is line of action of force F3. This is line of action of force F2. This is line of force of F3. See, this is line of force of F1. See, this is line of force of F2. See, all these three we can see passes to the same point. Okay? Then such forces are concurrent forces. So, forces whose line of action passes to the same point are called concurrent forces. Now, this is very important for the equilibrium of the body. Let us say two forces F1 and F2 act on a body. Now we have to bring in equilibrium. Okay, we have to bring in equilibrium. Okay, what we should do? Okay, now before that we should see the definition of equilibrium of body. Okay. Okay, or we can, in a broad sense, we can say equilibrium of system. Okay, see, if body or a system subjected to number of forces and resultant all these forces 0, then body okay. So if the body or a system is subjected to number of forces and resultant of all these forces is 0, then the body is said to be in equilibrium. So in that case we can say sigma F is 0. Okay, we can say I is equal to 1, 2, and that can be number of forces. We can write Fi. So if the body is subjected to number of forces and resultant of all these forces is 0, we can say the body is said to be in equilibrium. Now let us say here the example F1 and F2 are two forces. Okay, let us say it is inclined at some angle. We can see in the diagram. See, we have to bring this system. Let us say this force act on a body at a point O. Okay, now these are in different direction, so resultant will not be 0. Okay, depending on the inclination. But suppose I want to bring this system of force F1 and F2 in equilibrium, what I should do? Now, as I told earlier, see, when more than one force acts on a body, we have to find out the resultant. See, we have seen number of methods for solving vectors. Okay, one of them we can use it quickly here is the parallelogram. Now let us say I want to find out resultant of these two forces by parallelogram method. There is F1. See, I have got F1 parallel to F1 and F2 parallel to F2. Now, see, we have seen in the earlier calculation, see the two forces to be added are represented as adjacent side of a parallelogram. Now see, if the parallelogram is completed by taking opposite side parallel and equal, see the diagonal of the parallelogram. Now this is the diagonal F. Okay. Now suppose I want to this system in equilibrium, so I have to apply this force F dash of equal magnitude in opposite direction of this resultant force F. So what will happen? See, the magnitude of the force F dash and F is equal. Okay, that we can obtain by calculation. But see, they are passes to their line of action is same. So this will be in opposite direction. Now this is an opposite direction, minus F dash is 0. Okay, that is fulfilling our condition of equilibrium. So see, the here we have seen how to bring the system is in equilibrium. Okay, so the equilibrium of forces. See, if the body is subjected to number of forces and resultant of all these forces is 0, then the body is said to be in equilibrium. Okay, now force being a vector quantity, sigma f is 0. We can write in terms of its component. So in that case we can say sum of the x component of the forces should be 0. Okay? Sum of the y component of the forces should be 0. Sum of the z component of the forces should be 0. Okay? So if resultant force is 0, see the force being a vector quantity, it will also have components. So in that case, sum of the x component will be 0. Sum of the y component of the force is 0. Sum of the z component of. So this is about the equilibrium forces. See what we have seen today. See, we have studied Newton's third law of motion, which says action and reactions are equal in magnitude and in opposite direction. We talked about impulse of forces, and we saw about law of conservation of linear momentum. It says, see, the total linear momentum of an isolated system remain constant. We also talked about equilibrium forces. See, next time we'll proceed further. Thank you.